Hi, everybody. It's Rhonda. And this morning we are going to talk about SVG files. Okay. Now, as you know, every day in my private community, I give image prompts. I try to vary these depending on the type of product my members make. I try to go through and make sure I give clip art prompts, prompts that can be used for like tumbler wraps or t shirt designs, junk journal prompts, seamless patterns, wall art. I try to vary it every week, different prompts. And I also, at least once a week, give a black and white prompt for images that can be used as like SVG files for laser engravers or Cricut and silhouette cutting machines. Okay. And I seem to see some confusion in general about how you use these black and white image prompts, okay, and what you do with the images after you create them. So I thought I'd do a quick video this morning showing you how to use these prompts for the black and white, for the SVG, for the vector art, okay? So this last Friday, I gave the prompt for this cute butterfly on the cherry blossom. So I'm gonna use that this morning, and I'm gonna show you what you have to do to take this prompt, create the image, and turn it into a SVG or a vector file, okay? So I'm gonna hop over to Kittl, and I already have the prompt in here, and I am using ChatGPT 1.5 to generate my image. Now, it doesn't matter what image generator you use. It doesn't matter what model you use. I prefer Kittl because I have all the tools I need to create my vector, my SVG, right inside of here, okay? So the first thing we'll do is run our prompt, and this will just create our basic black and white raster image. Our normal PNG, JPEG, whatever it is, it's going to generate this as a typical raster image that is pixel based. So we'll give this just a second and let it do its thing. Okay, so here is our butterfly image, all right? And this is an image, okay? At this point, it is the same thing. It is just a PNG or a JPEG. It is a pixel-based file. If I were to download this and just call it an SVG, all right, let me do this. And I'm gonna call that butterfly SVG2. Now, if I were to open that in my laser software, this is the program I use to control my laser, and this is Lightburn. This is a very popular laser control software. So this is something that a great many people use. So I am comfortable, showing how these files will work in here because this is what a huge number of people who use lasers will be using. So I'm going to drag that butterfly 2 SVG in here and drop it. And it's just an image. In fact, you can see over here on the layers panel in my laser software, it's calling it an image. It's not an SVG. The only part that is an SVG is if I right click and I ungroup this, it put this little border around it, this little line here. Let me change that color so you can see it better. So all that would have happened is, well, maybe it would have cut this square out, okay? And that's not what people who have lasers need this to do, okay? So this is really just an image with a line around it. So you cannot just create an image, download it as an SVG, and have it be a vector, a scalable vector graphic, okay? So what I'm gonna do here is I am gonna duplicate this image. I'm gonna slide one over here to the left, and I am gonna select my image that we created. And here inside of Kittl, if I select that image and I look over here on the right of my panel, there is a button that says Vectorize. So I'm going to click that, and it's going to ask me how many colors. And I want one color. I want black. That's it. I don't even want the white. We want the black. That's it. So I'm going to select one, and I'm going to choose Vectorize Image. Now it is going to vectorize this. Now this is a vector graphic. You see that the selection area is right down to the edge of the design. You can also see, like when I select this one, you see where my selection box is, it's way out here because of this background. When I select this one, it's tight up against my design because there is no background. If I come in here and I change this color, you see the only thing we have is the black, right? Everything else is gone. There is no white at all in this. It's simply black. And you can also notice when I select it, there are little blue lines over everything in here. That's telling us that this is now a vector. It's all lines and paths and nodes. There is no pixels in here at all. This is a mathematical file now. There are no pixels. So if I double click on this, it's going to show us all the different little nodes in this design. So watch. You see all these little dots? Those are all nodes that we can edit. Let's say I don't like this little part of the petal here where it comes in and I want to get rid of that. Well, I could select these little nodes and just hit delete and it got rid of them. They're gone, you know. We can get rid of all different kinds of things in here. Now, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to leave that part. But if there are little pieces in here that don't look right, you can just zoom in, look around, and get rid of what you don't want. Or you could move things around a little bit. You know, if you thought something needed to be wider, or, oh, look, here is, you know, maybe there should be another dot here on his wing. Well, you could double click. You could, you know, move one of these around if you wanted to. You could, like I said, you could delete. It's completely up to you. There's all kinds of editing you can do to this now that you cannot do. Click off of that you cannot do to this image that we created, okay? Now this one, now that we have vectorized it, if I export this as an SVG and call it butterfly SVG, save that. And now I come over, let me move this off to the side. This is the one that we did nothing with. We just downloaded it and called it an SVG. Here is the one that we vectorized first, okay? Now came in a different color. Let me change the color. And now you can see this is what you would want inside of a laser software program. You know, this is, I could ungroup this. Let me right click, ungroup. And now again, I can move things around. Everything is its own little piece and part. So I could edit it if I wanted to. I don't need to. It looked really good the way it is. So I'm going to group that all back together. So when I move it, everything is intact. But now I can, you know, make this smaller. I can make this bigger, and nothing changes. The quality does not change. Now, if we zoom in, let me show you, see how crisp that is. And over here, you can already see the lines are pixelating. So just downloading an image and calling it an SVG does not make it an SVG. You have to vectorize first. Now, there are a lot of platforms that will vectorize for you. You can use Kittle here, and I love Kittle's vectorizer. It does a fantastic job, and I can do everything all in one place. I don't have to leave and use another platform. Now, my designs will vectorize for you as well. Recraft, we've already discussed Canva. So, you know, that we don't vectorize in Canva. All right. If you aren't sure why, I have a video that I did several weeks ago about why you do not vectorize in Canva. And, you know, I'll link that below so you can watch that if you want. But there are other platforms too. There are other tools that you can use. It's up to you which one you use. In fact, I can do it right here inside of Lightburn. Now that this is just an image, I can right click it, click trace, and it is looking at all the different nodes in here, or all the lines, and I just click OK, and it has converted that for me to a vector. So, you know, I can do that in here, but, you know, that's not what people want. You know, they don't want you to sell them a PNG or a JPEG and call it an SVG, that they still have to go through the work of converting it themselves, all right? But there are a bunch of different ways that you can vectorize an image before, packaging it up as an SVG. So, keep that in mind. You cannot just download an image and call it an SVG and have it be an SVG. Affinity will also vectorize for you. So here is the image version. And to do a vectorizing in here, all we have to do is come up here to Vector, Image Trace, and click Apply. And once you do that, you see it turns into a group. And now we have all these curves and things like that. Now, it takes a little bit more to clean it up inside of Affinity than it does in Kittle. So you would come all the way down to the bottom, delete that background. Now you see all of these white areas. You cannot just grab them and get rid of them. Let me come down here and show you. Like if I just grab this one and I pull it away, what we have is the black underneath it because this is just layers. So what I do is I will select my black backing, and then I'll come through here and select anything that is white or gray. Just select. It takes a couple minutes to do this, but you select all the white and this black background, and then at the top here in your Boolean tools, just hit subtract, and you see it's getting rid of that white. And you just repeat that process till all you have left is black. And we're gonna come through here. And it, like I said, it takes a couple minutes. It's no big deal. It's really not that big of a deal. In fact, let me hold shift. I'm gonna come up here, click all of those, subtract up. What did I do wrong? See, I goofed up somewhere. Guess I had too many. Subtract, subtract. But, like I said, it does take a little bit longer than if you vectorize it in Kittle, but it can be done because your end goal here is to have nothing but the black left. You don't want all this white because that is just a pain in the butt for anyone using a laser. Now, if you were selling this for someone who was using a Cricut and they wanted to cut it, bring this back in, that's a little different because they will probably want to cut the black background and then they would layer vinyl on top of it. So we would once again, vector, image trace, apply, and what I would do in that case is I would come down here, I'd get rid of that background. You definitely don't want that. And then I would grab this black background and I would turn that off. Okay? Then I would grab everything else. I would make it white and then I would group that all together. I would weld that. And what did I do wrong? Okay, let's move the black off to the side. Okay, the rest of this, I would turn it all white, weld it together, and then I would put this back on top of it. We would align this the way it should be. Line that back up in here. I turn off snapping for a second so I can move this the way I want it. Okay, now you could leave it like this if you were selling it to somebody, who wanted to use this for like a Cricut or silhouette because you have two layers. You have your top layer that they will, cut in vinyl, and then you have your back layer. Or you could grab everything at this point and see if you weld it, though, you see what happens? Everything turns black. So that's not what you want to do. I would just group these together, not weld it, just group and be done with it, okay? And then you could use this in a, you see some of these white pieces here that don't belong. Yeah, Affinity does a good job. It just takes a little more work, and I missed some sections that should have been deleted. But you get the idea. You can vectorize in here too. I am really partial, though, to Kittle for things like this because it's just fast and easy. It gets rid of everything I want gone, and I have my vector file ready to go. Okay. So if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Let me know. I'll try and answer them as soon as possible. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.